A security operation at Abuja's international airport has now exposed a serious breach inside Nigeria's own enforcement system. 5 security officers have been arrested after investigators uncovered alleged bribery linked to an attempted operation involving former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Authorities say unauthorized payments may have interfered with official procedures, raising new questions about accountability within sensitive national institutions, a development closely watched both in Nigeria and abroad. Here's what happened. A security operation at Abuja's international airport has now exposed a serious breach inside Nigeria's own enforcement system. 5 security officers have been arrested after investigators uncovered alleged bribery linked to an incident involving former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Authorities say unauthorized payments may have interfered with official procedures inside a restricted airport zone, raising questions about accountability within critical national institutions, a development now drawing attention across Nigeria and among Nigerians abroad. Here is what we know so far. Authorities confirmed that 5 security officers drawn from multiple agencies were arrested following an investigation into an airport incident at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The incident occurred when Nasir El-Rufai returned to Nigeria from an international trip and security personnel attempted to carry out an official operation connected to him. According to investigators, some officers allegedly accepted unauthorized payments during clearance and access procedures. These alleged payments reportedly allowed individuals to enter restricted areas and disrupted established security protocol at the airport. Officials believe the actions contributed to a breakdown in coordination among security agencies assigned to the operation. Following internal reviews, the Department of State Services launched a joint investigation involving aviation authorities and other security institutions. The inquiry led to the arrest of 5 officers now facing further questioning, while the case has been forwarded to anti-corruption authorities for additional legal review. Officials emphasized that investigations remain ongoing and that conclusions would depend on verified evidence. If you value clear, fact-based Nigerian political reporting that explains events calmly and professionally, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss important national updates. Airports represent one of the most sensitive security environments in any country. Every movement is governed by layered authorization systems designed to prevent unauthorized access and ensure coordinated action among agencies. In Nigeria, aviation security, immigration officers, police units, and intelligence personnel operate simultaneously within clearly defined procedures. When allegations of bribery emerge within such a controlled environment, the concern extends beyond individual behavior. It raises questions about whether institutional safeguards function as intended. Investigators are therefore examining how unauthorized payments may have influenced decisions taken during the incident and whether proper reporting channels were followed at each stage. Sources familiar with the investigation say the security operation involving El-Rufai required coordinated action between agencies. However, confusion reportedly developed after certain officers allowed access that investigators believe was not properly authorized. This altered the operational environment and complicated the execution of official duties at the airport. Authorities stressed that the focus of the investigation is the conduct of the officers involved rather than any political personality. Nasir El-Rufai's presence made the situation highly visible, but officials maintain that disciplinary actions announced so far relate specifically to alleged misconduct by security personnel. Public reaction has reflected Nigeria's wider conversation about accountability. Some citizens view the arrest as evidence that institutions are willing to address internal misconduct regardless of rank. Others argue that transparency will be essential to ensure public confidence in the outcome of the investigation. Security analysts explain that bribery allegations within restricted zones are treated seriously because airport systems rely heavily on trust and compliance. Procedures exist not only for safety but also to guarantee fairness and consistency. Any perception that access can be influenced by unofficial payments risks weakening confidence in operational standards. This explains why authorities moved quickly after preliminary findings emerged. Surveillance reviews, operational logs, and personal reports are reportedly being examined to establish a clear timeline of events. Investigators aim to determine who authorized specific movements and whether standard protocols were intentionally bypassed or simply misapplied. The incident also highlights the complexity of Nigeria's multi-agency security structure. Different institutions often share responsibility within the same operational space, requiring constant coordination. When communication breaks down, even routine procedures can escalate into institutional challenges. Observers note that the response by authorities signals an attempt to reinforce discipline rather than escalate tensions. By initiating arrests and transferring the matter for independent review, officials appear focused on demonstrating accountability within the system. For Nigerians living in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and across Europe, developments involving institutional accountability carry broader significance. Governance stability and rule enforcement influence international confidence, investment decisions, and how Nigeria's institutions are perceived globally. Incidents handled transparently often strengthen trust among partners and diaspora communities who remain closely connected to national affairs. Political analysts also place the incident within a wider national context. As Nigeria gradually approaches another electoral cycle, actions taken by security institutions attract increased scrutiny. Maintaining professionalism and neutrality becomes especially important during politically sensitive periods, making clear investigative procedures essential. Legal experts say the arrested officers could face administrative sanctions or prosecution if allegations are confirmed. Possible outcomes range from internal disciplinary measures to formal legal proceedings, depending on investigative findings. Authorities have not yet announced final charges, emphasizing that due process must guide every stage. Equally important is the possibility of institutional reform. Incidents like this often lead to reviews of operational guidelines, training standards, and interagency communication procedures. Strengthening these systems helps prevent future misunderstandings and reinforces confidence in national security operations. Public trust remains a central issue. Nigerians expect institutions to function according to established rules regardless of political status or personal influence. Visible accountability can reassure citizens that enforcement systems remain guided by procedure rather than personality. Several questions remain under review. Investigators are working to establish the exact sequence of events, the nature of the alleged payments, and how access decisions were made during the incident. Authorities have indicated that additional updates will be released once investigative processes are completed. In the coming weeks, attention will likely focus on official statements from the agencies involved and any legal steps taken by anti-corruption authorities. Analysts believe the outcome may influence future coordination between airport security agencies nationwide. Beyond the immediate controversy, the episode serves as a reminder that institutional strength depends on consistent adherence to rules. Sensitive environments like international airports rely on professionalism, discipline, and clear authority structures to function effectively. When those standards are tested, swift investigation becomes necessary to restore confidence. The arrest of 5 officers following alleged bribery linked to the airport incident involving Nasir El-Rufai therefore represents more than a disciplinary matter. It reflects an ongoing effort to reinforce accountability within Nigeria's security framework, an issue closely watched by citizens at home and Nigerians abroad who look to institutional stability as a foundation for economic confidence, governance credibility, and democratic continuity. As investigations continue, the focus remains on facts, transparency, and due process. The final outcome will not only determine responsibility in this specific case but may also shape future expectations for conduct within Nigeria's security institutions. If you found this report helpful, like the video, share it with other Nigerians at home and in the diaspora, and subscribe for balanced political analysis that helps you understand Nigeria beyond the headlines.